Hello there, and welcome to this Pinterest training. My name is Cheryl Stinchcomb, and I'm the creator of Profit Penning, and I'm also the author of Pinterest for Profits. So if you're watching this webinar, you've seen some of my training probably, and you're an entrepreneur, you're getting ready to start a business, or you're a solopreneur or an online marketer, which means you don't have time to waste. So I want to get right to it, and let's talk about what we're going to learn on today's webinar. The first thing is I want to share with you how Pinterest creates a stronger social media momentum than any other platform out there. The second is I'm going to share with you the secret to pinning that captures more buying customers than any other social media as well. And the last thing is I want to teach you the different ways to pin based on your specific advertising objective. Let's face it, not all pins were created equal. I see people spending time creating these cute pins and quotes, and they continue to pin and they don't understand why they're not getting any traction. Well, I'm going to show you the reasons why. So if you don't have a pen and paper, you want to grab one right now because you're going to be able to take a lot of great notes today. So the first thing we want to tackle is how do we create a stronger social media momentum with Pinterest than any other platform? Well, first of all, I'm going to share with you that pins do live longer, and I'm going to show you a really great example of what happened to me on my Pinterest profile that will completely shock you. First of all, let's compare it to the top two social media platforms. Twitter. Tweet is measured in minutes, right? Tweet is all about what's happening right now, and then it's over. Facebook posts, they exist for a few hours, but then they just get lost in the feed because there's so many things to look for. Well, Pinterest, the average pin can come up in search months after it's posted. Now, but why? Why would Pinterest be so much different than Twitter and Facebook? Well, the half lifespan of a Pinterest pin, believe it or not, is 1,600 times longer than a Facebook post. So why are the pins' lifespan so much longer? Well, here's the reason why. Consumers use Pinterest different than any other platform out there. So Facebook and Twitter are used mostly to reminisce in the past, which is Facebook. Right? They have all those videos of you became friends with so-and-so, and you can post it or choose not to. Or they'll have a post pop up that says, hey, do you remember this from 5 years ago? So Facebook is all about reminiscing in the past. Twitter is all about analyzing the present, what is happening right now. Pinterest is used to plan the future. Boards are created by users to be aspirational, whether it's a wedding, do-it-yourself decorating, arts and crafts, or party recipes. The pins are created that can be repinned over and over again, just as long as there's users. 66% of pinners use Pinterest to save things that inspire them. Now, these statistics I'm sharing with you today are from October 2016. So they're fairly new. A lot of the articles that are out there, they're quoting stuff from 2014 or 2015. So Pinterest is only growing stronger. I'm going to share a lot more statistics as we go through the webinar. Now here's what I wanted to share with you. So I created a profit pinning course back in 2014. That was the very first year that I had sales. You will not see the sales on here because it was the first year. About that time that I created and finished the program, I started to market it for about 4 weeks. I ended up changing jobs and became a leader of a growing company, and I had no more time to build, at that time, my profit pinning marketing strategy. So I basically had to stop. I had some things out there on YouTube. So once I started this full-time job, I didn't have time. I was traveling a lot, and I couldn't market the product because I didn't want to get too much attention because then it would take me away from my job. And I just didn't want to put out a course out there where I couldn't interact with the membership. So I left it. I didn't delete my Pinterest account, and I just left the pins that I did. So in the blue, it has 2015 sales. The green is 2016. Across from left to right are the months, January through December. Now, you can kind of take a look here. There were some months where I was down. So you look at March 2016, I was down 43%, but that's because I was so high up in March, which meant 2014 there were zero sales because I doubled my sales in March. But as you start looking through, look at October and December. October of 2005, I was up 67%. In October of last year, I was up 71% from the previous year. Now understand, this is organic traffic only. I did not do any new pins past 2014. So in 2015, my increase of profit was 58% over the year 2014. 2016 increase was 61% over the previous year. Now, that's not doing so bad for just having a hobby and having a course out there where you're not marketing. I'm not spending money, but I'm making money. So this just goes to show how powerful Pinterest is and how powerful their pins are. So Pinterest drives purchasing behavior. Pinterest is a product review. It's basically a shopping catalog. People test it, and it's also an advice column all in one. So when you take a look at a pin on the right, this is one of the features they offer. When someone opens up the pin and takes a look at it, there's a box at the top that says tried it. So if you click on it, you can say that you loved it, or it wasn't for me, or you can leave comments, and you can even post a photo of what you did. So if you post recipes or anything like do it yourself, people can post a picture of what they did. This is either going to build credibility for your business and you if you're your own brand, or it's not. Also, about 25% of consumers reported buying a product or a service after they discovered it on Pinterest. So let's face it, nobody wants to be sold to, right? Here's a perfect example. Hey, Facebook friend, haven't spoken to you for 4 years, but hey, have you heard about such and such? Because I'm trying to sell you something. Well, here's what's so cool about Pinterest is the Pinterest ads don't look like ads. They just look like normal pins. And it can drive people through ads they don't even know that they're being sold to, completely opposite of all the Facebook ads and the Twitter sponsored ads. So there is a secret to pinning though. There's a secret to pinning that's going to be able to capture more buying customers. First of all, you need to understand what a pin is. Pins are ideas. They're not products, they're ideas. People use Pinterest to discover and save ideas for the things they want to do. Remember, Pinterest is about the future. Pinterest overall and the boards that you create is more of a vision board. It's like taking and buying a bulletin board, cutting out pictures of a magazine, and posting it on there saying, this is what I want as motivation. This is what Pinterest is. It's just a virtual dream board. You can inspire pinners to try your ideas by making your pins beautiful, helpful, and actionable. 93% of pinners use Pinterest to plan their future purchases. You have to keep this in mind. That is such a high percent. So let's talk about what the art is to pinning, because there is a certain way that you want to do this. First of all, just be ready. Everyone markets to a different market. The way you present your brand or yourself, the more you pin is going to help you learn what works and what doesn't work. So you definitely want to continue to do your research on what's getting repinned and what isn't. So yes, you will have to spend some time doing some trial and error. Hopefully some of the pointers I give you today will be able to narrow down that so you're not wasting your time. Now remember the goal we just talked about. Try to make all your pins beautiful, actionable, and interesting. So let's face it, you want to be pinspirational to be able to capture their attention. So let's talk about what some of those things look like. First of all, what's your image? You need to use high quality images. You want to go for the taller pins. It actually captures people's eyes and it draws their attention. But you don't want to make them too long because then people just get bored and they get cut off in Pinterest. Multiple images work as well. I'm going to show you some examples over the next few slides. And then you also want to minimize the amount of text, and we'll talk about that as well. Second of all is the description. You want to make sure you give some really good content and be really detailed. You want to write a thoughtful copy, something that really accents and implements and helps support the picture that they're looking at. You also want to make sure you're linking your pins to websites that's going to help people. So for an example like this with a recipe, obviously it needs to link to someone's blog, which it does. It's Martha Stewart, to where it gives the full picture and the full recipe. You want to make sure you capture their attention with detail. This is just going to tie into the description. But what makes a good pin description? So let's look at some of these tips we have. When it comes to recipes, describe the main ingredients of the dish and how to cook it. Maybe you have a special ingredient that people don't know where to buy it, and you want to let them know that as well. On the fashion industry, include what type of clothing it is, the designer, or the season to wear it. In a travel blog, tell people the location that you are and the kinds of things there are to do there. Talk about maybe some special events or festivals that are really specific to a time of year in that location. Do it yourself. Describe what it is, how you make it, and the materials that you need, and maybe even where to buy the materials. Photography, name the photographer, the year, the subject, or even the publication. If you do design work, mention the designer or the publication as well. So there's a lot of different industries, but these are just some few to get you thinking about what is your industry and what are some details that you would need to put into your pin descriptions. So what do you do before you create the pin? Well, first of all, what is your advertising objective? I had mentioned earlier in the agenda, people are just pinning whatever and not understanding why they're not getting attention. Well, before you can get started, you always have to have a goal in mind. So if you start to pin, what is it that you really want to achieve? And there's going to be 4 different areas I want to discuss with you today. First is, as a brand or you as a solopreneur, do you need to build awareness? You do this by telling a story or going through a campaign. The second is you want to improve engagement. That's getting people to like it or getting people to share it or repin it. You do this by inspiring people to click for a close-up or to be able to get them to save the idea. Do you want to increase the clicks? That means driving people out of Pinterest from the pin to your website, which will help boost the traffic. The last one is driving conversions. Basically, what are the strategies and things that you do on your pin to help turn pinners into buyers? So let's break down each 4 of these categories. I want to give you some really good examples that will hopefully spark ideas for you and for your pins. First of all, building awareness. That is telling a story. First, what you want to do is use compelling images. Something's going to really capture their attention. I don't know about you, but that milk and Oreo cookie cup looks pretty darn good to me. You want to provide detailed descriptions. The good thing is that we already talked about that and gave some really detailed information of what are some things you would include in that description. Also, you want to celebrate novelty. So let me show you a few examples. This is one of the best examples I've seen on boards with Southwest Airlines. Now remember, we want to talk about how do you create awareness about the brand, so you want to tell a story. So one of the boards they have is a vintage. I love this pin. Of course, I love Southwest Airlines, which is one of the reasons why I'm using them as an example. But this is so cool because it looks at vintage of what the airline stewardesses used to wear and what some of the airports look like, what was some of their training. So it takes you back to a time that I don't even honestly really remember. So it gives you something to think about. And it also shows you where the brand came from. So let's move the story along. From the beginning to these are the places they go, whether it has a picture of Texas or it's got the Denver airport there. Next is tips for travel. So, hey, you're going to follow us in a destination, you chose us, which is great, but how can we help you travel in comfort? And the last thing is in flight. In flight is their magazine. And so what they're doing is they're giving you covers and showing you some things that here's what's going to happen in flight while you're there and the things we offer, whether it's a certain drink or it's a spirit magazine or it's a little snack. So their boards are literally telling a story about who they are as a brand and what they offer you. Another one that's really cool is what if you were to show behind the scenes? If you're a solopreneur, what are you doing with your day when you aren't working. Or a big company like Google. These pictures are so cool. I mean, look at these headquarters. So they're showing behind the scenes on Pinterest of what does it look like to work for the big company Google? The second thing is improving engagement. So how do you go about inspiring your pinners to click or save it for the future to be able to plan ahead? Well, people love images of people. So use a hero image. People really have a tendency to save if you only focus on one product, and that's exactly what this one pin is doing. You want to show them how to do something. I see that stuff all the time. It's like I see it, or there's a video on how to do, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to watch it right now, but I'm going to repin it so I can come back and watch it at a later date, or I have to come back and watch it multiple times because I'm not going to remember after watching it one time. The third thing is you want to use text overlay, but I want you to be careful with this. Only use text overlay if by looking at the image doesn't really tell the story. So this is the perfect example, how to switch to natural cat food. Well, if you take away the text, you would have no idea what that is. So when you're looking at your pins, make sure you don't put too much text where it takes away from the image, but it also is guiding them on what the image is about. Here's some other strategies you can do to go about increasing those clicks. First of all, you want to show multiple products. Now, why in the world would you want to do that? Well, I'm not a fan of wearing yellow. So if this shirt was shown in yellow only, I'm going to bypass it. But what it's going to do is if you show multiple products in different colors, it's going to attract more people and more buyers. So here's a great example of doing that. It's the same shirt and it's offered in different colors. Now, ideally, Pinterest says, 4 products works best, not to overwhelm. So here's one of the examples. The next example has more than 4. It has 5 pairs of shoes, but it's still not overwhelming. In this picture, I want to talk about use a vertical aspect ratio. The longer it is, as I said earlier, it's going to capture people's attention. Now, if you make it too long, you won't be able to see the full pin. So their ratio is 2 to 3, such as 600 pixel wide times 900 pixel tall. Now, the fourth example we talked about was driving conversions. Now, this is probably the most important one, right? Because this is what we're trying to do, is turn our pinners into buyers. So first of all, you want to use a lifestyle photo, just like we are on the right. It just really helps people to understand how it fits into their lives. So here, Nordstrom is obviously using a model for the clothes instead of like we saw before, was just the clothes on a hanger. It's a big difference. Second is showcase your logo. Basically, by putting a watermark logo on your pictures, you're building credibility and legitimacy of who you are as a solopreneur or a brand. The other way that you can get some conversions and turn your pinners into buyers is offer coupons or discounts to get them to try your product for the first time. Another great way is to create future buyers is get them to sign up for a list, whether you offer them something for free. But what happens is once you get their email, you can continue to market to them, and maybe they don't buy all the time, but the more they see you on Pinterest, and the more emails they get from you with different offers or sharing stories of your brand, it's going to create them to become buyers. So really, by getting their email, you can market to them on all these 4 different areas of getting them to click, share the story, and give them discounts. So this is a great way to be able to combine all 4 of those advertising objectives together. So buying customers on Pinterest, let's just face it, but I want to share you more statistics like I said I would earlier. Pinterest generates over 400% more revenue per click than Twitter and 27% more than Facebook. 47% of US online shoppers have made a purchase based on a recommendation from Pinterest. Shopify customers. I know a lot of people that watch my trainings on Shopify. They have a Shopify website. You got to be on Pinterest if you are, because the Shopify customers referred by Pinterest place an average of an order of $80 compared to navigating from Facebook is only $40. So they're spending double coming from Pinterest. So I can't say it. There is no place like Pinterest. And I love it because I spent little to no marketing cost and I still got results. When I started on Pinterest, they didn't offer Pinterest ads. Now they do. And I got all my traffic with no ads whatsoever. Second, here's what's great about Pinterest. You have control over the location of the images. And you have an online catalog, which now they have a showcase. And I talk about that in another training video. But you can control the location of your images. Facebook, what happens? They end up in this feed. And they do have an area, obviously, where you can combine albums, but nothing works like Pinterest. It is the location for planners and buyers to hang out. And as a marketer or a business owner, you will spend less time marketing with the higher return on your investment because of the lifespan of the pin. You can spend the same amount of time pinning and interacting just like you would on Twitter and Facebook, but you're not going to continue to get the traffic from Facebook and Twitter like you do Pinterest. So I want to share what happened for me when I started using Pinterest for my business. In my first 3 months, I had more followers and I gained more leaders on Pinterest than I did my Facebook page, and that was in the same amount of time. So in those 3 months, whether I looked at my Facebook page or my Pinterest, I had more followers on Pinterest than Facebook, and I didn't spend a dime to get those followers. On Facebook now, it is pay to play. How do you get likes? They control the feed so much that you have to pay to be able to build your brand on Facebook and to build your page. Second, my website traffic increased by 84% when I was marketing. That is insane. And then one morning, I woke up to see a $1,000 sale in my inbox. So I was playing around with Pinterest and I was pinning, trying to figure it out. And that's when my website traffic increased by 84%. And when I had that sale in my inbox, I thought, oh my gosh, I got to do something. And that's when I got really serious. And the last point is I already showed you the longevity results of the Pinterest pins when I wasn't adding any new pins to my profile. So how do you succeed at Pinterest? Well, I'm going to give you 4 simple steps. Phase 1 is optimize. In their profit pinning program, I take you from from the beginning. You don't even have to have a Pinterest account. I teach you how to optimize your profile, how to create it, how to choose the right picture, how to write the description. I teach you how to name your boards and how do you grow your following. The second phase of profit pinning is attracting. That way you can get your customers engaged. And we do that through teaching you how to do the right images for your brand. How do you tell the story? And how do you create infographics for free? Phase 3 is connecting with your audience. How do you do that? Through blog articles you might offer, videos. I teach you from the beginning how to run a contest and give you some awesome examples on what not to do. And how do you do a promotion? And the last one is promoting your brand over and over again as you add new pins. I'm going to teach you and show you the 8 simple steps of how do you build a list? How do you create email marketing and what do you write in the email itself? And how do you launch a brand new product or start a campaign? So let's dive into this a little bit more. Profit pinning is great for beginners, but it also teaches you all the advanced training you need to become an expert. It's easy to understand with step-by-step tutorials. It's organized like a 25-day challenge, so it's easy to track your progress. And lastly, it only requires 20 minutes a day. And that way you can work at your own pace. You can work every day, 25 days in a row consecutively, or you can work 2 or 3 days, take a couple days off and come back. You get to work at your own pace. You get to decide. So phase 1, let's talk about optimize your profile for traffic and sales. First of all, I'm going to give you a marketing strategy and coach you. How do you write the strategy? I said earlier, you have to have an end in mind. You can't just start pinning. You will not get results. So I give you a quick start action plan to be able to help you get results fast. Second, I don't want you wasting your time. So I'm going to give you a self-evaluation. It's going to help you determine based on if you're already on Pinterest, where do you get started? I'm going to show you how to set up and optimize your Pinterest business profile and give you some awesome examples of people in your niche and how do you go find your competitors. You're going to be able to watch a step-by-step video tutorial. It's going to walk you through how to optimize your profile and actually go into Pinterest and show you how to do it so you don't play the guessing game. Our second phase was how do you attract your target market? This is going to help increase your engagement. Well, you're going to be able to watch my creative videos with ideas of how do you create great visual content that's going to get you noticed, following a lot of the rules that we talked about and a lot of the rules that we didn't even discuss. Second, the top strategies to getting your pins to go viral fast. You want them to get repinned and repinned, and we want to get you on group boards. But how do you go about doing that? Because you have to get an invite. I'm going to share the secrets to building credibility with your target market. If people don't trust you, they will not buy from you, and I'm going to show you how to get their trust. We're going to share creative and effective ideas for your Pinterest boards so you can attract more paying customers. And I've got 101 board names that can work for any industry. I'm also going to share some great resources to be able to create brand-specific infographics for free. Infographics are amazing, and they get repinned more than probably any other type of pin on Pinterest. And I'm going to show you how to create them. Phase 3 is connecting. How do you connect to your audience and your followers? Well, I'm going to give you the top strategies with the base outline of how do you build that email list and client list through free marketing strategies. I'm going to take you through a minimum of 55 marketing strategies at all different levels. If you're a beginner, no problem, I got you covered. Then we'll take you to the next level of intermediate, and then we'll take you all the way to the advanced marketing strategies that teach you how do you make money with your products on Pinterest. I'm going to give you the list of your best tools to be able to track and analyze your results. If you're pinning and you don't know what's working, then you're wasting your time. So we have to know what's working well for you. And lastly, I'm going to teach you how to run a contest that goes viral online. And our last phase, promote your business to help increase your sales over time. We're going to teach you how to sell your products even if you don't have an email list. There's going to be 8 simple steps that if you don't have one, I'll teach you how to build it. If you do already have an email list, congratulations, you're ahead of the game. But I'm also going to teach you what do you need to write in the body of the emails. In what order can you promote your products? You're going to get 25 ways to monetize your products, but we're also going to talk about services. So many entrepreneurs and solopreneurs think I just offer a service. Pinterest is only about products. So not true. So I'm going to give you the inside scoop of how do you promote your services. I'm going to teach you step by step. If you're creating a new product, like if you created an online product like I have, how do you launch a new product? If you are making jewelry and you have a new product line, how do you go about getting that off the ground so you can explode your bank account? I'm going to show you how to do that. You're also going to learn the different online softwares that's going to help you analyze your marketing results based on being able to launch a new product. So what else does this training include? Well, that's definitely not all it has. It's going to give you a milestone tracker. So it's going to show you your progress so you can easily come back to where you left off. There's a trackable printer that's going to give you an outline of what do I have for the next day. So you can print that, have it available so you can kind of plan out your week on what you're working on, and you know what's coming on the next day. The step-by-step tutorials are in every day for training, and there's also activity downloads. And many times you have to do some planning yourself. So I'm going to guide you through what that is, and also there's checklists and how-tos that will get downloaded that you can put it in a binder and hold on to it and refer to it as you continue to pin on Pinterest. So there's more than 15 hours of training in profit pinning. So let's talk about, let's say you decided not to do the class and you didn't want to learn on your own, but you didn't have time to market or you didn't have time to figure it out. Well, you'd have to pay for a social media manager. They pretty much charge $500 to $2,000 per month or $100 an hour. Well, that's a charge that doesn't go away. You will continue to pay that month after month if you don't decide to take control and also own your brand and pin on your own. So the training I have based on a social media manager you'd have to hire would be $1,500 at a minimum. Well, I'm sorry. See, I don't really trust anyone right now because I'm growing my brand. So before we move on, I'm not going to charge $1,500. That's absolutely insane. And I want to offer more. So the bonuses I have. First of all, we've got a private Facebook group, and they're very interactive. People post like the most recent pins, or they'll ask, this is what my niche is. What do you think I should pin? And people are really interactive and they help each other. Second, I have a Pinterest marketing ebook that you can print out that has step-by-step and a lot of examples as well. Bonus number 3 is I'm going to give you 101 creative Pinterest board names. So many people struggle with, I don't know what to call it, or they name them incorrectly. I'm going to teach you how to do that as well. And bonus 4 is an outsider's point of view. Well, that is getting me involved. All you have to do is reach out to me through the Facebook group, or you can contact me through my personal email. You will get me directly. I will not have anyone else help with this. So what you do is after you've created your profile, you reach out to me and say, hey, Cheryl, I want to know, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? Can you give me some insight? And I will put it in writing. I will review your profile and get back to you and be able to give you some great pointers. So these 4 bonuses, if you put together, are worth $450. So the total value for profit pinning is $1,950. But I'm not going to charge you that. But I want to tell you why I'm not going to charge you that. First of all, this is what I do for a living. I've had a full-time job for 20 plus years putting together online training programs. It is so easy for me to research, figure out how to do it, and put a program together. So I get to use one of my talents that I've been given to be able to make it easier for someone else to be able to build their business. And that is something that's really exciting for me. But I want to discount this, and I want to take it way down to $159. But even when I think about $159, which I know it's worth it, it still doesn't feel right to me. I'm doing what I love, and I love helping people to be able to grow their business. And I've had such a great success. I don't want to hold anyone back, especially someone that's just starting a business. And I want to make sure that they can get this program and learn as quickly as possible to be able to get great results just like I did. So we're not going to charge $159. I am going to give you 50% off and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So your cost is only $79. I never ask questions. If you just want to give it a shot and give it a try, 30 days you have to play around and look around. And I will not ask questions. It's a simple email to me and just saying, hey, it's not what I wanted, it's not what I expected, and I get a refund, and it will be done. Now, I guarantee the training is going to be so great because it's 2017. This is the only program out there that's completely up to date for Pinterest. And you have complete access to me. I work with every individual member through email or on the phone or the Facebook group. You will not get a staff member. You will talk to me directly. So don't take my word for the program and how great I think it is. I mean, obviously, I think it's great, but here's some testimonials I want to share with you. One is Dana Neal, and she was a coach. And she said, I'm loving the Pinterest training. I am learning what I wanted to know 4 months ago. That's the perfect example. People getting on Pinterest and wasting their time. Well, Dana didn't waste her time. Well, Dana stopped wasting her time and she got my training. Liz Jones, she creates her own products and she was doing a product launch. She said, before watching my training, I thought I had to hire someone to make cool image pins to promote on my first online product. Well, way to go on the Pinterest video training. I got a ton of value, and now I have my other friends taking the course too. Here's an example from our Facebook group. She said, hey, everyone, just want to introduce myself. I'm Josh, and I joined the group. And pretty cool, it goes on to say, hey, Cheryl's thebond.com, in case you haven't realized that already. So this is just an example of hopping on the group and getting help. And this person's also offering the help for everyone else. So what in the world are you waiting for? You have a 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee. All you have to do is go to profitpinning.com. Go over to this area, click this button. It's going to take you directly to the page, and you can get started immediately. Once you purchase, you will be able to go into the program and start training within minutes. So I hope to see you on the inside of our Profit Pinning membership and to be able to interacting with you on our Facebook group.